All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the JumpX podcast, episode 13. Got Tom with me as usual. No,
Yes, sir.
no special guests today. But today we're going to be talking about the best workout split for athletes wanting to jump higher. All right, so what's going to be most optimal there? But before we jump into that, if you guys are looking for training, online coaching, full online coaching with guaranteed results, if you want to get your vert absolutely crazy, all right, send us a message on Instagram at JumpX Performance Coaching. Send us the words podcast, and we'll get you going from there.
Or
All right?
our personal Instagrams as well, if you want.
No, just go JumpX to make it
JumpX
easy.
Instagram?
Just
Okay,
go
yeah.
JumpX podcast. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, we currently have 4 spots.
yes.
Yeah, we have 4 spots, and then we're going to start increasing the price. So if you really want to take this seriously and get in now, before the price increases, there's no better time than the present, right?
Yeah, get in.
Yeah.
Because we're already it's been a day and we already filled up one spot. We had 5,
Yeah.
but now we only got
I mean,
4.
by the time the podcast comes out, there might be like 1 left.
No, maybe none.
Yeah, there might be none. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
but yeah, we'll be putting out on social media.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah. Anyways, getting into today's topic, what's the best workout split?
The answer.
To jump higher.
The answer may surprise you. Because, yeah, a lot of people say, like, because I think we have a mix of followers. Like, we
Yeah.
have dunking people, and then we also have people from, like, our local gym,
Yeah.
and just maybe some, like, general, like,
Yeah.
So, a lot of these gym people who, are purely in the gym to, like, look good or get stronger, they'll usually say, like, push-pull legs is, like, the way to go.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a jumping podcast, so our views are going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I've never done push-pull legs in my entire life.
I've done push pull legs.
Because, yeah, and I'm assuming you...
6 days a week.
Yeah.
It was intense, man. It was intense.
Yeah.
My lower body got a lot stronger.
Mm.
Like I added my squat went from like 80 kilos to like 140 in like a year.
That's pretty good.
So, but my upper body plateaued hard.
Yeah, you had a weird thing with that, eh?
No, it plateaued hard because of how much I was overtraining.
Yeah, it went down, didn't it? Like your bench went down.
Yeah, literally
the
went
more you
down.
trained, which is
Yeah, but that's not like fully the split's fault. That's a combination of a number of factors. So
yeah.
But anyways, what are your thoughts on push pull legs to develop athleticism?
I mean, I feel like it can work, man. Honestly, it can work.
You can make
anything,
it work, but
yeah.
is it the most optimal best idea? No.
No, because think about it. You're only going to get 2 leg sessions in a week,
Yeah.
and generally, we like to do 3 to 4 leg sessions in a week.
Well, it depends how you do push pull, right? Or push pull legs, right? So like when I was doing it, it was almost like more like 4 leg sessions in a week, right? For me, and I think that's why my legs blew up. Right?
How'd you do it?
So basically, on the legs days, it was like squats and more quad focused, and then on the pull days, I did back, but as well as hamstrings.
Oh,
so I would
okay.
deadlift and do Romanian deadlifts and leg curls and stuff on the pull day.
Yeah.
Because they're pulling movements, right?
Yeah.
So you're using a posterior chain. So that's how I did it. But sometimes there would be a day where I'd squat and then literally the day after go deadlift, and it was it's not a good idea,
It's
guys.
mad. Yeah, that's mad.
It's mad. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, so the way, when someone tells me they do push-pull legs, the thing that comes to mind for me is push is all upper body push, so like bench press, incline, whatever. Pull, rowing, all that kind of stuff. And then legs, I always just think like they demolish their legs for 2 hours straight. And then obviously because you have those extra days to recover, that's why they can kind of get away with it.
And like,
Just have a big break.
just to put it out there, this is not a good split for beginners at all, because the training volume.
It's
If
fine.
you're a beginner, you don't
Yeah.
need that much training volume to progress. It's almost like you'll actually progress less from doing too much at that point. So you kind of want to do as little as possible for as long as you can.
Yeah.
So then later on in your career, you got room to move, you got room to progress.
Yeah.
Because if you just do all the crazy shit straight away, what are you going to do 3-4 years down the track when your body's already done that before?
6
When
hour
it could have been
sessions.
a new stimulus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's that saying? It's like you have to do like trying to do as little but still spur adaptation. You know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah, the minimum dosage.
Minimum dosage, that's the word, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's actually really important.
But
especially
that is different for everyone.
facts.
That is different for everyone. Everyone's dosage in terms of minimum dosage or minimum effective volume or dosage. I'm forgetting the exact terminology here. But you guys get what we're saying. It's different. It's different for everyone. Like this guy can handle way more training volume than myself, right? High volume for me is way different to high volume for you.
There's so many factors that come into that though.
Yeah.
Like literally, there's so many things. Like honestly, like it could be sleep, but that's not really one of the issues for us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just genetic. Some people can just handle more than others. Like
Yeah.
for example, the one B skip that cursed you. Like that's like the most relevant example.
That's such a meme, bro.
Yeah.
No, what was I gonna say, dude? No, go on. I lost my train of thought, but go on.
Oh,
I'll come back to you.
age can play a factor. So obviously,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
if you're 13, you know, bringing it back to jumping, not really gym, you could probably jump every day.
Yeah.
You'd be fine.
But that's another thing. That's another thing. But also the outside work you're doing, right? If you're a sprinter, you're doing a heap of sprinting per week. There's a lot of stress on your nervous system, so you're not going to be able to tolerate a crazy amount of heavy lifting because all that stress you're putting in your nervous system. Sprinting, jumping twice a week. You got to take that into account. That's training volume. If you're playing basketball 3 times, 4 times a week, you got to take that into account. All right. Like,
imagine playing basketball.
I've talked to people that are playing basketball like 3-4 times a week and doing push-pull legs.
Yeah, see, you could probably do it, but it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, that is dumb. Just to put it out there, that is dumb. That's too much. That's too much training volume.
Yeah,
it's almost like impossible to eat enough to be recovering enough, and you're not going to progress that way because there's only so much your body can adapt to at one time.
At that point, your body's just trying to survive.
You're literally
you might be able to get through the workouts and feel good about yourself because look, I pushed through this hard session, but like your weights aren't going to go up every week.
Exactly.
Every month even. Like
exactly.
Because first your body will survive is a number one priority, and then adapt. So if you're making your body in such a compromised state that it's like actually shitting itself and trying to like not just die, you're not going to adapt to your training.
This is where like for athletes that are beginners that are new to training, what I like to do for them is do full body splits because they're very deconditioned, haven't really trained much, don't have any sort of upper body mass, size, strength there, don't have any sort of lower body strength there. So like doing like full body 3 times a week is actually a really good place to actually start.
And that's plenty.
Yeah.
That's plenty. Plus jumping, basketball,
yeah,
training.
And just make sure you're covering, your squatting pattern, your hinging pattern, your lunge pattern. You know what I mean? Like vertical pressing, horizontal pressing, horizontal pulling, vertical pulling, all those sort of movement planes. Just make sure you're covering all those bases. You're getting stronger over time, and that's a very good place to start.
This is like a random thought, not really that relevant. A little bit relevant. So I kind of like just thought, at what point would you recommend someone maxing a lift, whether that be squat, bench, dead? And I kind of started thinking, if you're strictly only training to jump higher, there's actually an argument, in my opinion, to actually never max. Maybe do like a heavy triple at the in your deload, but you don't necessarily have to max unless you want to kind of find where you're at. Because at the end of the day, maxes are risky. They can fry your CNS for who knows how long. So why would you do them if you could just do a heavy triple and still, obviously, over time your weights are still going up, so you're getting stronger, but you're just not technically proving it by hitting that 1 rep max.
Yeah.
You kind of see my argument. I don't necessarily agree with it because we do program maxes for some of our athletes, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there and just seeing what you would think about that.
Yeah, that's only for people that are very proficient in those movements, have a lot of time in those movements.
Definitely.
Like for people that I know haven't been training very long, I never program like a 1RM. It's just not necessary. Oh. Just not necessary, and the risk versus reward, it's not there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just it's just an ego thing.
Yeah, just to prove that you can do a certain weight.
Pretty much. Yeah.
If you can put that aside and actually say, okay, I know I'm stronger. I don't necessarily have to hit X or Y amount of weight. You might actually end up progressing more because, say on a Thursday, you go for 1 rep max on a back squat and you do an RP11 lift. The next 3-4 days of your training is going to be suboptimal. So
this doesn't mean don't do singles either.
Oh no, yeah.
Doing a heavy single is different to doing it like an actual max. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like an actual max is like shit, shaking, literally forcing the weight up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pretty much you wouldn't be able to do another rep. But doing a heavy single, it's 90% of your max.
Yeah, around that.
It'll be around that, you know what I mean? And you should kind of leave it I could have done more. That's different, right? And I would argue too, moving I'm moving loads that are slightly under being sub-maximal. So doing 90% in a 1RM instead of doing 100% in a 1RM,
Yeah.
but moving the weight with more intent, moving it more quickly, you get a better adaptation for jumping at that
That's
point.
another way to
because
test if you're stronger as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And like we talked about on the podcast before, if you have a means of tracking velocity, like you could like at the end of every month do a heavy single, do the same weight at the end of every month. But if that velocity of that same weight is getting higher, then you are actually getting stronger and you are getting more powerful.
Yeah. There's
There's
no way around
exactly.
it. Like you are stronger.
If you go from moving 180 kilos to
0.6 meters a second.
meters a second to 0.7, you have got stronger over the month, even though you're doing the same weight.
Yeah, that's fucking quick though.
Hey?
That's pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
Like we'd both get folded by that. 180 at 0.8 is fast, man. Well,
Yeah.
not fast, but like you put more in the tank for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing that kind of popped into my head, and I'm guilty of this, I'm sure you're guilty of this, but it can actually be a downside is, do you know who Ivan Juric is, the squat everyday guy?
Yeah.
He's touched on this a few times. So if you go into every training session, and obviously it's good to be like excited, keen and all that, but if you go into every training session and before every set you're hyping yourself up, you're slapping your legs, doing smelling salts, I think that's actually like a negative thing. Because the fatigue hole you're going to dig yourself from that isn't going to be worth it. Yeah? You agree? Yeah, okay. So that's why I'm saying like in some situations you might actually have to go lighter. And kind of go into the rep like, you can be hype, but maybe not like the 10 out of 10 hype that you need to be for a max necessarily. Kinda like stoic.
Exactly. There's something like this. I read the book Relentless in Winning by Tim Grover, and he talked about this, right? In terms of going into players like Dwayne Wade, you know what I mean? Like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, like
the greats.
Like in the book, they talk about cleaners, and cleaners get the job done no matter what. All right. So basically, you'll talk about it's not a good thing to rely on hype because hype is unreliable. It's like a spike in emotion because when you're actually in the game doing the thing, you know what I mean. You don't have that music. You don't have that music there that's hyping you up. You don't have all those external factors that are hyping you up.
Yeah.
So it's not a good thing to be relying on those factors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you get the job done regardless.
It's like for us, to make it more specific for us, if you're going into a dunk competition, right? Like, yeah, it's a hype environment, but you're not going to have, like the same sort of...
Your favourite song.
Your favourite song, all those sort of things in that sort of environment. So that's where saying cool, calm, collected, focused.
Yeah.
And kind of when you're performing these maximal weights or maximal jumps and all that, moving along those lines, it's way more reliable.
Yeah.
And you're going to be way more focused and you're going to be way more consistent.
Good example, Team China, Olympic lifting team. If you go into one of their training halls, literally there's no music. All you can hear is the banging of the weights and the barbells.
A lot of Ollie lifters, train like that.
They don't even look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. They turn the other way.
I mean, sometimes like you see me training without music.
Sometimes it's just like too much. Sometimes you just don't want to have it in your ears.
You just don't need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just don't need it.
You just do it.
Because like I've been training for years, and after you just get to a point where you just get sick of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you get desensitized to music sometimes.
No, you absolutely do because you got to think it's dopamine. You get a dopamine hit every time you drink coffee, every time you listen to music, right?
Pre-workout.
And this is why every time, if you go, there's memes about it, right? When you start the gym, you start off listening to Katy Perry and that hypes you up. You can max on Katy Perry, right? But then it's slowly over the years, like the type of music you're listening to gets more and more and more and more fucked to the point where it doesn't sound like music because your tolerance to that has got so much higher. Just because of like you're not as receptive to those dopamine hits anymore.
I was literally talking to a guy yesterday about that. I was like, I used to listen to rap when I first started the gym, and then I got to the point where I was listening to like fucking unicorns getting massacred, and I could sleep to it.
At that point, you need to stop. You need a dopamine detox, man. You need a dopamine detox. Yeah. That's where like I don't know if you guys seen on social media like the whole thing about doing a dopamine detox. It's a real thing, man. Like I'm at that point with caffeine, bro. I need to cut caffeine. Yeah. Because it's just not doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when you get to the point, if you take a scoop of pre-workout and you could go to sleep, You need a detox. You probably should have detoxed like 6 weeks.
Not even
before.
like for a week, bro. For like a month or months.
You don't have to
Legit.
go cold turkey either. You can phase it out. Because sometimes cold turkey is almost like too hard for people, and then they like binge on their way back. You know what I mean?
It depends.
It's not like food. If you go to cold turkey too quickly and take it all the way at once, they like more likely to rebel.
I think it's. I think yeah.
I've never done
know.
it, so I wouldn't know.
Part of it's definitely habit too. Like you're breaking a habit.
Yeah, that's true.
Because your body develops habits. Well, habits are solutions to your problems. So you take caffeine because you feel tired, right?
Yeah.
So taking it out, you're removing that solution to that problem, and that's where people, get all those
Withdrawals.
Well, it's a factor. It's not the only thing, but it's a factor.
Definitely.
So
I feel like for a lot of people, coffee is not even like. Yeah, it helps people like get up in the morning if they're tired, but it's a lot of a habit for people. Like they just enjoy having their morning coffee. This isn't me because I hate coffee.
That's the thing for me.
You actually enjoy coffee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I actually like the taste of coffee.
Yeah. I feel like.
But I like bitter stuff. I like
fucked.
wine. I like dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate's
I
alright.
got that mature taste, guys.
Yeah,
mature taste.
It's 24 and over, right? You hit 24, you're like.
Yeah, because I'm old now. I'm an old man, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, getting back to the topic about best training splits, right?
First, there's no answer.
It's gonna be different for everyone.
Yes.
Because everyone's got different situations, But typically, like what I like to program for most people to have more flexibility is lower body, like upper lower, like lower one day, upper the next day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So if they have that flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see that in a lot of the JumpX guys programs.
Yeah, that's definitely the best way to go about it. Because as an athlete, you want to be training movements, not so much, like in isolation. Like, I'm trying to focus on this body part. You know what I mean? So like we don't. That's where like push pull legs. You're kind of just focusing on body parts, and that's where it's like very good for bodybuilding. But as an athlete, right, you want to train your body to move as a system.
Yep.
Right.
I agree.
So that's where doing an upper body training day. You're using your whole upper body for the whole day, obviously, right? So you're training your body as a system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can like superset and combine movements that are going to translate pretty well into athleticism, right? It's kind of like you wouldn't do like just leg extensions to jump high and replace that with squatting.
Yeah.
Squatting is always going to be better than
it still works in quads, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to train muscle groups to work together. So.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, gym is a tool to jump higher. Yeah.
I put a post out about this recently. Like, weight training, resistance training, that's on the base of your training. Doing jumping, like doing your plyometrics, doing all those faster, more reactive movements. That is actually the base of your training, and then your strength training helps boost that. Put all that stuff on steroids.
Yeah.
And helps you stay injury free.
Yeah.
And obviously improve your force production as well.
Yeah.
So
one thing I do want to touch on a little bit is kind of relates to push pull a little bit, like where people will have a day, like once per week, for example, and they will like obliterate their biceps for like an hour and a half. All right.
Yeah.
You know these kind of people. Does anyone pop? But like people do this, right?
No one pops in my mind right now, but
okay. Well, I have a few people in my mind who do that, or they'll be like, "Bro, I'm just gonna obliterate my chest." They'll do like every chest machine.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll do that once a week, and they'll be like sore for like 3 days after it.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say about that is, if you're natty, please don't do that.
Yeah.
You can get away with it if you're not natty, because you've got a few more things circulating around that are going to help you recover. But if you're natty, that's just like, in my opinion, it's dumb as fuck. You need to spread the volume out over the week.
Yeah.
So
no, you're 100% right, because there's obviously, like I said before, there's only so much your body can adapt to at one time. And if you just destroy your chest, like literally that, like it gets to a point where like volume is junk volume. It gets to a point with that extra volume, you're not actually getting any extra benefit or adaptation from doing that extra volume, right? There's a limit, and obviously that's going to be different for everyone. Number of variables that influence that, right? That's where it takes a little bit of experimentation, finding out what that is and how much that specifically is for you. Some people that might be doing 2 sets of something, 2 sets on a body part. Other people might be doing 10 sets on a body part. You know what I mean?
So you versus me. Maybe not 10 sets, but for sure, man.
But you guys get what we're saying,
yeah,
right?
I get the idea.
And like if you're just going in the gym killing yourself, that's not the way to develop true athleticism, right? 'Cause you're just constantly going to be destroyed. You're going to be such in a recovery dip. It's going to be harder for you to get out of it. You're not going to be able to jump properly, right? You know what I mean? You don't have productive jump sessions at all.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna say. Like, remember, like I said before, it's a tool. So why are you using the tool to ruin what you're actually trying to achieve? If you, obviously, there's gonna be times where you might jump a bit lower because you're fatigued from a like.
Yeah, like we're not saying that, but like if you're jumping like 10 inches lower,
yeah, but if your
that's
legs,
probably a bit of an exaggeration.
if you can't get out of bed on a Saturday for dunk day, because the whole week you've done like, I don't know, quad obliteration for whatever reason, well, no, you're probably doing something wrong.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be ups and downs because you actually have to have the downs to super compensate from.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like you said, if you go from a 40-inch vert 1 week to a 20-inch, yeah, you might be a little fatigued.
Yeah.
Maybe. That'd be crazy, though, just to see, like, how much you could fuck your body up. Just to see, like... like
how low can I get my vertical? How much lower can I get myself jumping, bro?
Well, that'd be a challenge.
Yeah. Write a friggin' meta-analysis on it.
Yeah. Do you reckon you could get to a point where you're so fatigued that you wouldn't be able to dunk?
Myself?
Yeah, I 100% could.
Yes.
But I just got to obliterate my quads.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I reckon it'd take 1 day. 1 day you could do it.
I reckon I could.
Like if you spent 3 hours in the gym right now after this, you wouldn't dunk tomorrow.
Yeah, because I'd have to make my quads sore.
Yes.
To the point where like I can barely move them, right? Which is possible, very possible for me right now, right? But the other factor is I probably wouldn't be able to jump for another 6 months after that because I'd be in such fucking bad knee pain. Not only would I not be able to dunk for 1 day, I wouldn't be able to dunk for 6 months after that.
That's sick, man. That's not something you could do.
Yeah, let's just try that. Fuck
it.
Fuck it. I mean, just not jump for the next 6 months until I get to dunk.
You finish the day off with a max deadlift, RPE 11.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously you like destroy your muscles and then fry your CNS.
You know there's a bodybuilder called
Tom Platz?
Tom Platz?
Yes,
he used to train legs, guys. This guy used to train legs like once every 2 weeks. He literally couldn't train his legs any more than that because of how much he killed his legs. It literally take him a full 2 weeks to recover from.
Have you seen some of the videos?
Yes.
Have you seen the leg curl one when he's like getting the guy to like push it down?
Yes, I have.
That's fucked.
It's messed up, bro. It's actually messed up. Like the next day, bro, like you wouldn't be able to stand. You literally wouldn't be able to stand, man. Bro, that girlfriend, bro.
I know the story.
Guy. What?
I was gonna say I know the story.
I don't know the story, but I was just gonna say that guy probably didn't have a girlfriend at that time.
No, do you not know the story?
No.
Oh, okay. So Tom Platz is like the embodiment of demon time. His girl cheated on him with his trainer.
Oh my god.
So he left the trainer and just trained hard as fuck every day. Yeah, so that's when you started seeing him do like the leg curls to failure, and then he starts getting the guy helping him and like pushing down. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Bro was, but I mean, look at his legs. Fucking, it obviously worked.
I mean, if that helped him through, so.
Yeah, we wouldn't recommend anyone doing this.
Do not do this, guys.
Yeah, like he wasn't a bit of gear, maybe not natty.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if you're on anabolic chicken, right?
Yes, and broccoli.
Right? You recover so much faster, and that's why those guys can handle so much more volume. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also,
and that's where bro, this is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
topic.
fact. Well, just like anabolics.
Bro, because there'll be guys in the NBA on it for sure on PEDs. Right? That's why they can get away with like that crazy.
They don't even test
game volume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're especially guys like LeBron, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like me saying it doesn't take anything away from him. You know what I mean?
It's not his fault he has to play 82 games.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's kind of like at that point you got no choice.
It's not like he's on tren. Let's not get it twisted. He's not on tren.
Yeah.
He's showing like HGH or like a small dose of test.
So if a story comes out tomorrow that LeBron took PEDs, like I would not care. I would not lose any respect for him at all.
Yeah.
Or anything he's done. You know what I mean? Because freaking every other player is probably doing something.
Yeah.
As well. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, NBA is for entertainment.
Yeah.
So like if they take it out, there's going to be less games going to be able to play. The games are not going to be as entertaining as well.
Yeah.
So like it'll just make everything worse.
Yeah, no, I agree, man.
You know?
82 games is fucked. That's like 2 or 3 games a week, right?
Yeah.
Plus training.
But most of you guys are natty, so you guys can't handle like those crazy volumes. So that's where we like doing full body. Upper, lower is a good one. We don't really program push pull unless we got a guy that's
I don't
doing
think I ever have.
like powerlifting or just wants to get massive. You know what I mean?
Oh, even for powerlifting, like I still don't.
It depends. It depends on the volume, right?
Yeah.
So if you're training 6 days a week, but each day the volume isn't crazy. It's almost the same volume you would do training 4 days a week. You spread it out over 6 days, then yeah.
So you can have quality sessions.
Because I've trained people in the past where they just want to train every day, right? So the session.
Heck.
What I do for those sort of people, I get them training every day, but they're not doing crazy hard shit every day. They're doing something every day, but I'm spreading the volume out.
Yeah.
And then if they're like want to feel like that, like there's just people that just want to feel like they're working hard. So I just give them stuff that's going to make them feel like they're working hard, but I know isn't actually going to impact them too much or fatigue them.
Yeah, it's a mental thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
no, that's good. That's
where programming is an art form as well. So
there's so many things you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's no one size fits all. It's different for everyone.
I don't know if you go through this, but when I program, I'm one of the two. I'm either the smartest programmer in the world or I'm dumb as fuck. Not in the terms of my program changing, but some days I just feel like I'm like, damn, this is really like well written. And other days I'm like, bro, I don't know anything. Do you go through that?
No, I don't really know.
No? Okay.
I just every program I write, I'm like, yeah, I'm smart as fuck.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you actually, I swear you like message me and be like check out fucking, I don't know, like Hack's program. I'm actually smart as fuck, bro.
Oh man, yeah.
No, what you said though before with like the 4 days and you turn it to 6, I reckon that's actually better. If they can actually train 6 days a week, because that means they get more quality on their exercises.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, right?
Rested.
That's the other thing. If you spread your volume out a bit more, and you're not doing it all at once, that volume and the intensity you put into the sets and reps will be higher because you'll be fresher. You know what I mean? That's where, for myself, say I have sprints and then strength training on the same day. If I want to be optimal as fuck, I would do the speed sprints in the morning and then in the afternoon do all the strength work, right?
Yes.
That would be more optimal than doing the sprints right before the strength work, even though it would potentiate the strength work a little bit.
Yeah.
I would argue it would be more optimal to do that sort of stuff earlier in the day because it still would potentiate a little bit.
John Evans actually talked about this on a podcast like ages ago. He's like, yeah, if you got the time, literally go out, do your sprints, whatever, your plyos, the shit you have to do in the morning, go home, eat, do whatever you need to do, like, get off your legs, like sit down, then go do your strength work. That's like ideal if you're like a Olympic athlete or something, So yeah, that's 100%. But it's not the end of the world. Yeah, but never do your strength and then sprint after. That's like pretty non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But whatever, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on this topic at all?
Well, one thing I will bring up is, how we're talking about the maxes and you should never max. There's an exception if you're a powerlifter.
Yeah, or you got a competition.
Yeah, well,
you know
you
what
kind
I
of
mean?
have to.
Yeah. You're an underlifter and you have to like max, you know what I mean? Then you need maxes in your training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
so, maxing is a skill.
It is.
So, you know what I mean?
Even then, it's not necessarily maxing, it's just getting used to heavier loads, like close to your max. Like
exactly. Most of the time, they don't truly max unless they're in competition. So
even then, they usually play it safe for like the first 2 to make sure they get numbers under their belt. The third one, maybe play a bit riskier. Maybe go for a fail. So
well, yeah, it's like dunking, right? When you're in a dunk comp, right? Like I see dunkers do this sometimes. Like their first attempt, they'll try something crazy, and if they don't hit it, then they'll go to a dunk they know they can hit.
I think that's dead though.
What?
I feel like you should do it the other way around.
The other way around.
Make sure you hit a dunk, and then try something more risky.
No, because you only get one attempt at one time.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Okay, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I know what you mean now. Yeah.
You know, so like for myself, if I was doing a dunk comp, and it was like the final friggin' stage,
like
right, I had a chance of winning it. Like obviously I can't e-spay right now, but I would try an e-spay. I would at least try it once or twice, and if I don't hit it, then I'll just switch to something guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Depends who you're versing.
Yeah.
Like if you're versing someone.
Or if I know I can beat someone doing something basic, then I'll do something basic that I know I can hit.
You're versing some crack guy, you have to risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
E-spay elbow.
Yeah, one day.
You actually might be the first person to e-spay elbow off dribble. I don't think anyone's done it.
Are you serious?
I've seen it on double up.
So it's a little bit easier for me because I'm a little bit taller.
Yeah.
But I gotta about an elbow first.
Alright, well, camera just cut off again, but we're pretty much done anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any closing thoughts?
Not really, not off the top of my head. So we'll leave the podcast there.
Yeah.
We'll save anything else we want to say for the next one. But these podcasts always end up way longer than we think. We're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna do a quick 10-minute one, and we end up speaking for like 30 minutes.
That's not matter. There's so much you can talk about when it comes to strength and conditioning in the whole world.
I think there's more than we realize at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you always feel like you know something, and then you see like a little glimpse of like a new area you don't know about, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's actually a lot.
Yeah, it's because the science is always evolving. So.
Yeah, it's always changing. But
anyways, we're going to leave that one there. So if you guys are looking for training, all right, send us a message on Instagram. Send us, what is it, JumpX? Send us,
podcast on JumpX.
No, send us podcast on our JumpX Instagram. So at JumpX Performance Coaching on Instagram. Like I said before, guaranteed results in the first month, or you get all your money back. All right, we get people freaky. All right.
Yeah. Well, I was actually watching Harrison. You know Harrison?
Yes, I know.
He sent me yesterday. I was like, "What? You've only been on for 7 months?" And yeah.
Yeah, he's got.
But just wait till you see the video.
Yeah, he's got crazy. See the video
in 7 months.
But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. We'll catch you guys in the next podcast, and we'll see you then.
Peace.